It is. We're live.
We're going live sort of shortish.
Yeah. No, that's us. Yeah.
Hello, good evening, everybody. It's wee Paddy and Jud from across the shuck, and you are very, very welcome to a little impromptu sort of a live. But that's nice. That's what we like doing. When we get together, we get a chance. We'll just do it as and when we can. And tonight, it's a special time of the month. It's the Jack Wolf release. It's special for me.
Oh, you should have seen him yesterday. He was unbearable again. But you know what he's like.
So we're going to show that tonight, and we're going to preview it a wee bit. Yeah, just move you over there. I think Jud's put on weight. Here, it's the other way. It's me that's put on weight. Yes, well, we'll show you that knife in a little while. But we thought, in sort of homage to it tonight, we're going to talk about the three animal feet that seem to get everybody confused what they are. And I don't have many videos I've done about this.
I know.
But I'm coming from the home of knife making. I'm getting upset.
Because people aren't listening to you again.
No, not really.
Nobody's ever listened to us. Nobody's ever listened to us. Especially not this show here.
No.
We're already in. We've got Spiros was first in. We've got Randy's WSG, Crispy Critter, Fra Ross, Mark, and Mark. The same Mark, I'm assuming, and Retro Stew as well. So
you're really good at reading that. Spiros. How did you get that? I keep meaning to ask him, and I don't like to half the time.
Well, I'm assuming it's Spiros. Here's hoping he'll probably correct me later on.
Well, good. I hope he does.
Fruits of classical education is all I'm saying.
There's another. Yes, we're going to talk about the lamb's foot, the sheep's foot, and the ram's foot, and they go up in that direction. The lamb's foot being the thinner, going up to the ram's foot, which is the bigger. And we'll just talk about them because the Jack Wolf knives is one of them. Now, as much as I love my designer friend, Ben Belkin, this is twice now, and I'm just putting a stop to it. I've decided to put my foot down. See,
with
not a fear. Yeah, with a firm hand. And the last one we had was, do you want to show them your one? That's yours now. He done the Barlow in the what Ben called the sheep's foot. Oh, here, let me put the light on for you, and that'll be a wee bit more healthy looking. There you go. This was the last one he done in this blade shape, and it is the Barlow, and it was the Midnight Jack.
Yeah,
Midnight Jack. Yeah, Midnight Jack, and that was in a ram's foot, thinner at this end, thicker at this end, but I didn't design the knife, so I can call it. He can call it whatever he wants.
Absolutely.
So, as in all intents and purposes, that's called a sheep's foot. But in reality, in my world, that's a ram's foot.
Let me reiterate that. Thinner at the base, at the hilt end, thicker or deeper at the pointy end.
Now, granted, in that one, there's not a huge difference.
But it's still noticeable. Though.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely noticeable. Well, it's still right. I mean, that's just, let's just get it out there. I'll just have to take a beating from Ben, but he's a big lad. I can cry and scream louder than most men he's ever met. So, yes, we'll talk about that, and we'll go through what lamb's foot is and whatever.
And I think it's funny because as I was collecting knives, because I am coming from where I started from, the lamb's foot, sheep's foot, ram's foot were the knives that first struck me as being of a different design, and it's weird because they're such an old design and traditional pattern. So it really was. I suppose it is slightly odd that it would become such an attractive knife to try and pick up and start your own sort of mini collection of.
It is
but it's a very, very attractive blade shape.
There's probably about 7 blade shapes that are the mainstay of all traditional knives.
Yeah.
And the lamb's foot is probably the most delicate of them. So I mean, even if you just go by side, you get lamb, which is small. You've got sheep, which is a little bit bigger, and you've got ram, which is the biggest of the lot. It's a big daddy. So I mean, that's the way to remember it. Mm-hmm. The slimmer, the medium, the railway lines of a sheep's foot, and then the ram's foot, which is a bigger cutting surface. And it was to get in hooves. That's what the farmers would have used them for, was getting in. You wouldn't want to put a big, sort of ram's foot into a little lamb, because it doesn't give you that, it end up with the old peg leg.
Well,
go down.
So long, I mean, you don't want to eat one all at once, I suppose.
No,
then that would be the way to do it. Yeah. But
It
I suppose the other thing is that the lamb's foot is very much a traditional
Gizmo,
in terms of Gizmo as well. Gizmo will keep us right.
What he's put down there, I can read a bit of it, but is there more to it?
It is a modern.
Where is it?
It's a modern slip joint, and the rules are too.
It's not a modern slip joint.
And the rules?
Well, so I'm saying it's not a modern, but no, it's been around a while, and maybe sort of.
Oh yeah, we're going to we're going to be fighting over the definition of modern soon.
No, I wouldn't fight my wee Gizmo. I like wee Gizmo.
But he's starting it. He's starting it.
Yeah, you see, that's a restraint I've got. As a YouTuber, I have to be restrained and respect what my subscribers say. Awkward wee shit.
Well, that's us censored this evening. Thank you very much. But we're saying, because the lamb's foot is another one, and that in terms of what we were talking about last time with Ashley and Arthur Wright's, that's one of their most popular and production lines. Is that, and even when you notice people getting Arthur Wright knives over in America, they're always getting the lamb's foot, because it seems to be the Sheffield sort of totem or
and in
archetype.
fact, going right back, it probably was one of the first repeatable knives that they made, the Sheffield makers, the lamb's foot, because it was farmers that were using that kind of knife. I mean, most knives, that when they get a blade shape, it's usually because of the work they do, and the farrier knocks up a knife that they say, look, can you make one a wee bit thinner down there that I can get into a wee lamb's hoof? And that's probably how nearly every pattern has a defined purpose, rather than just off the. Now we make things off the top of the cuff, which is why you see these just insanely
fantastic knives,
fantasy sort of knives now. I mean, it's funny, we all make fun of the fantasy knives that we used to see in books, or you've seen in the TV movies like Flash Gordon and all. But now fantasy is becoming every day.
Absolutely.
I mean, some of the higher end fantasy blades they're coming out with, I would hate to sharpen them. They would take you a day to sharpen a blade.
It's a recurve on a recurve on a recurve kind of thing.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. Mr. Lockney, how are you, sir?
That's a nice comment for you, Stephen. And I have to say, I thought it was very good as well, Steve.
Oh, thank you very much.
Hand on heart, I thought, a good show of courage to do it, my man.
Well, I mean, you'd done it the week before, so you're the sort of leader in that courage thing for me. But I have to say, for a couple of days afterwards,
you weren't sure.
I wasn't. It's that doubt. I mean, anybody, especially with my sort of addictive, I can be, yes, that's the right thing to do, and then when you've done it, you think, was that right? Did it go too far? What did I say? It only lasted sort of a couple of days. Today, I feel really refreshed and happy about it, and
no, Stephen, you did
because
you did the right thing, and you did it well. And
you don't want to bombard people on Life Channel about your mental health, but I just think Satisfaction, he's taken the time, he's going to put a lot of effort into it, and the two of them, him and Sharif, are going to make a job. And if it only gets one person, then I'm happy.
Exactly.
If there's one father that doesn't have to go through what I went through, that's brilliant. Absolutely. That's all you need. You don't need any more.
But that means the world, and it may mean the world to somebody. So Gizmo's getting in there again.
Where is he? Oh, the lamb's foot turns into a sheep foot,
and then lamb's foot.
As you sharpen them. And that's the way the old knives used to go. Exactly the way they used to go. That's right. So, any questions from you before we start? Because I wanted to get, I don't know how many we go. We're about 17 in. When we hit about 20, I'm going to reveal the new Jack Wolf knife. If you haven't seen it, there's pictures on YouTube. Ben put it up. And I'm going to be honest, because I always said I would be honest. And for the last 12 knives, I've had to say, oh, this is fantastic. I really like this. I love this. And when I unboxed this one, I'll have to say it didn't smack me right up the face. I didn't get that initial wham that Ben has always done. But damn the man. I've had it for just over a day now, and I am warming to it. In fact, it's so as the hours have been passing through today, because we're worried about what am I going to say, and that's usually what I start with. If I don't think something's something going to, I always worry, what am I going to say? Because I don't want to exaggerate its greatness. This knife did not jump out and hit me up the face, but when you put it in your hand, and Justin has only just done that about 2 minutes ago, I am really starting to warm to it. And I suppose that's like anything. There's always going to be one pattern or one knife that you look at and you think, not really for me.
Well,
But
yeah, I remember that. I remember that when the dogleg jack came out, the K9,
yes,
the K9. And I mean, I think I've immortalized it in video, in fact, because when we were talking to Ben, I actually said, "Why did you make?" And I quote, "Why did you make such an ugly fat spear?" Now, those are words I have come to eat over the last few months. So actually, it only took me a couple of weeks, because the same thing happened once I had it in my hand for a while, and once I got used to the notion of it. But more to the point, once I started seeing other fat spears like the Rough Rider Reserve Barlow and other ones like that, where you really started to see the quality of it and the appeal of it.
And I think the use of it,
yeah.
When you put the knife to use, that's what makes a difference. But this one I couldn't, I suppose, because I don't work in an office.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one for going to many high functions where although I make videos saying this is what I would take to a high function, I don't really go to a lot of. It is a gentleman's knife.
I'd love to see him in a tux.
Oh, I've been in a tux, but I don't do it anymore, I should say. But yes, and I sort of tried hard to visualize it in my life, and that's what a knife has to do. It has to fit in with your life, with your life.
There you go. As William would say.
And yeah, it's definitely growing on me. And I'm now at the stage where it's not I don't like it. I'm now at the stage where that's all right. It's gone past that, and we're starting to go up and I'm starting to realize, it's just different.
And I see. No, I'm not going to show it, but I am going to look at it. I don't think you can honestly. Well, this is my opinion, I suppose. I don't think you can honestly say I don't like it, because it's, as always, it's a lovely knife.
Yeah, fit and finish is just amazing.
I agree with you. What you're saying is maybe it's not. You could say it's not for me, and that's because it's for me. I've been going on at him all week. I've been dropping him texts saying, "Oh well, if you don't like it, Stephen, I'm the other half of the channel. It's about time. What do you think, guys?" I do work in an office.
Yes,
I do wear a suit.
This was the one that I think I gave you this one. Yeah,
no,
you bought that one. Yeah,
it was the Vampire Jack.
Right,
Vampire Jack, which is.
But this is a beautiful knife. This is the only Barlow that he's done so far. Although this one has a Barlow-esque bolster on it, and you'll see that when I do it. Should we just do it now?
Yeah,
go on, you do it.
Yeah,
you do it.
No.
Yes, go on. I done last month. You show this. You show this month.
What's the carbon on this one?
It's S90V.
No, the carbon fiber.
That's
it's not the Nebula one, is it?
No, it's white. Oh, where's my box? Oh, see how well organized I am? Right, let me just get my wee box up here. Oh.
As people will ask.
I'm going to do a tops down video on it tomorrow, so that's why I'm not sort of going through what's in the box. This is just a reveal.
The Midnight Jack is beautiful. I agree. I think, and Stephen did an absolutely cracking job on the dyeing of that sort of burgundy color. It just adds to it.
This is called the Feel Good Jack. I think that's a super name.
It is fantastic.
And before you show it, I'm going to show you the carton. I'll show you this. I'm going to do the full reveal tomorrow. Look at the picture on this carton. Look at that. Now, is that not going to make you feel better? And there's Jack's response. Woof. I just think that is absolute. This is the classic. My favorite by far. I just think that is absolutely so. And there on the side, it says the Feel Good Jack.
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely.
Sean Tiffany was definitely channeling his inner Carry On movie with that one. Definitely.
Yeah, I think Ben had a lot to do with that one. But yes.
Anyway, without further ado, here it is. Okay. So this is the Feel Good Jack, and sort of White Storm, is it?
It's White Storm, and it's fat carbon fiber.
Yeah. So again, you've got that bolster and the end cap, but it is a really, really slim handle. Okay, I mean, we're talking finger slim.
Well, there we go. There's the if I put that up below you, this is the. Oh, so you want to hold them up together. That's the. Oh, you keep yours down. Bring yours down a wee bit. Now go on top. There we go.
There we go.
That's the Rough Rider doctor's knife, and it's the same size, a little bit bigger, I think. Let me just put them together. Yeah, it's just a little bit bigger. It's just a little bit bigger than the Rough Rider, but really only a tenth or something bigger, 1/10 of an inch bigger.
That's what I want.
I got confused.
So absolutely gorgeous, but the real thing is when you open it up, and there you have it. Okay.
That beautiful sheep's foot, lamb's foot, but really a lamb's foot blade. Sorry.
Check it again. Check it again.
What?
Not a lamb's foot.
Oh, sorry.
Holy mackerel. What was he just saying?
It's a ham foot.
Definitely. That's what that was.
It can be a ham foot because nobody can get it right. It's a ram foot.
not even the expert. That's for sure. So we've got, but Steve, could you open the Midnight Jack and we'll actually get a comparison of
very slim, very similar in size.
Similar in size, but it's actually longer. But look how much slimmer the blade is. I mean, it's noticeably slimmer in terms of the depth of it.
Oh, my dear. There you go. Got awful shaky hands tonight.
There you go.
See, coming off Domestos, it's hard to go on.
So there you go. There's the Feel Good Jack, another cracker.
And I like that white carbon fiber. Again, that took me a wee bit of a, it's just sort of wet fish up the side of the head.
I have to say, I was really hoping for another slap in your face one, like the lava flow and everything. But that, I mean, it is beautiful. It is really lovely. But there you go. So a ram's foot, a slimline doctor's knife ram's foot. And is it unusual to have a ram's foot or even a modified on a doctor's knife?
On doctor's knives, you usually have just the two. You'll have the spear point. There's a nice Remington one. You'll have that spear point, a single bladed spear point, or the one which I prefer the two that I had. You'll get the clip point, really slim clip point, which apparently was quite common for the doctors to actually have on their knife. But this one also comes with the spatula.
Oh, very smooth.
Or the swizzle stick for the modern lady in the bar. She can take this out, give it a quick spin, put it back in her handbag. And I think that's what a cracking tool if you're a lady to take into a bar.
Absolutely.
There's so many bars doing cocktail night. Well, a lot of men drink cocktails now. That's not something I was ever used to.
Yeah, times are changing, Stephen.
There was no sawdust on the floor in them bars.
Sawdust and eyeballs.
So yeah, you usually get that. That's usually the sort of pattern you get. But to get a ram's foot definitely is very unusual. And when I'm looking at it now, yes, it's slim, but the fact that the blade is a nice deep blade and sits up, it does give it a different appeal to me. It really does. Slicing, I can't tell you. And I measured mine roughly, and it was a quick measure. It was 14 degrees per side, which for a small blade, it's a hollow grind, but you don't have a whole lot to work with. To get that to come from 3 mil down to 14 degrees behind is quite that is a
That's
really
surgical,
tight.
really, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you see the end, can you see? I want you to see just the blade. It's so thin for so far up this blade.
It really is.
So just phenomenal design work to get something as good as that.
And it is interesting actually, because there's a couple of guys, retro Stew and Crispy Critter were saying it looks better open than closed.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you.
No doubt. Yeah.
I mean, I got these more for the channel. They're not a pattern that I would have jumped out, but I wanted them for my channel, so that's why I've got these. Now that I've had this for a day, this is for me, obviously I'm not a doctor, but I just can see this as a desk knife. I can see this as a gentleman's knife. I see more options for this now than I do most other knives, because I suppose I've had to think, what would I use that for? See, for detailed work, when you're detailed work on a blade, say even this one, which is great, you sneak up. So the back part of the handle, the length of the handle means nothing, because you're up.
Hold it up.
Sorry, you're up high and you're doing your detailed work, cutting around photographs or anything like that. So the depth of the handle down here doesn't mean anything, because you just sneak up and you get to the end of it and you have such control. And there's the back of the knife sticking out there. So there's no reason to have a robust sort of blade. I just think it's gorgeous. It
is dinky.
It is, and it's getting to me. And I suppose
I think you're right. It is so different.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes. I interrupted the noise.
Oh, I just love it.
Still,
what's this?
What's that? It's about 7 or 8.
No,
it's really tight.
Well, I personally, I think maybe a 7.
Yeah.
Just creeping onto a 7. But sometimes, somebody had said this before, and it's true, because you've got such a lovely way of pulling out here, it makes it easier. If you were to put your fingernail into the nail nick and pull it, then you feel it's a 7. The fact that we can pull these out really does take a lot of that pressure off, but yet gives us that security when it's fully open. You're not going to worry about this closing over on you. It's really sturdy. Finally caught the legend. Hello, Kevin. Oh, Kevin, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Kevin just gave £10 in the super chat. Thank you.
And you're more than welcome. It's glad to have you on the live finally, Kevin.
It's really, really nice of you. From Tennessee.
Oh, we're getting them all in.
Yes, it's great. I just love to see the variety, not variety, the nationalities that I get on here. It's just fantastic.
And then we get somebody from Sussex. Sussex, it's the Midnight Jack from Jack Wolf. Okay, so it's the earlier version. This was released,
I think it's second or third,
wasn't it? That roughly this time last year, and we're just comparing it because it has the ram's foot as well, but in a sort of slightly bigger proportions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lovely knife too.
A real good work knife, that is. Absolute work knife. And it came with the natural micarta, and I dyed it red. Yeah. That's why I put racing red on it, and it just took it in seconds.
And Crispy saying it, the low dragon in. He's looking forward to Ben making a hawksbill.
No.
And here we go.
That is what. It's not that I want to preempt, and I have no idea what's coming next. I am not in that privy circle, but that is one blade. If you're a gardener, is the only reason I can think to use that knife. For a box opener, no, thank you very much. I'll use my little 25. It's a box opener all day long. GEC 25. Mm-hmm. I just don't see that knife at all.
Really?
No, there's so many people like it. That's the thing.
Well, it's just such a useful knife, I think, and especially if you are out and about the garden or the allotment. My wife would use it all the time, I have to say. But and then there's Crispy saying, "Lol, he's a farmer," so it's probably no wonder he's useful to him.
Well, yeah, a farmer, yeah. Would it be useful for a farmer to have the hawksbill, or would you not just rather have like a lamb's foot? That's a good question, Stephen. Thanks very much, boys.
Speaking of which,
yes.
So show us the lamb's foot. Do we have one?
The lamb's foot, yes. I have a lovely little lamb's foot here. There is a little lamb's foot. Let me get this up here. There you are. You can see. So it's thicker at that end, thinner at this end. Now, there's not much in this one, and there's a lot of lamb's foot. There's not much in. You can see that there, but you can actually see the difference. It slopes down the way, and it gives you. And these, do you want to know all three of these? Let's just take them out. Let's go back to the origin of knives. Going a wee bit deeper now. Decided to go deeper. So that's not a sheep. There we are. So we have a lamb's foot, a sheep's foot, which is where am I? The sheep's foot, which is parallel, and then we have the new blade, which is the ram's foot, which are they all shown on there? I can't see through my hands.
Up a wee bit.
I've got problems.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, let's see. Here we go.
Here, do you want me to hold it?
Yeah, you want to grab that one in? All right. So there we go. What else? It's me. I couldn't think what you'll add. So we got
there we go.
Lamb's foot,
like
sheep's foot, and then it really is the stickman comedy act. So, but
sorry,
if you look at all these knives where you have that angled downward motion, really, I believe that they all come from the sax knife. You know, which would have been this the invaders of our country. Yeah, the Vikings would have used the sax knife, and really all these to me are working versions of the killing sax knife, which was a blade for fighting.
Yeah, it was more of a chopper actually.
Yeah, but it had that sharp. It was probably the degree of the angle of the blade was down lower, which made that sax. But these are just working versions, and a lot of things are like that. You'll have like the Bowie knife is now a popular knife for anything sort of thing, but it came from the Bowie fighting knife. Yeah. So they all come down that line, like the Nessmuck, and all the blades you can think of. They go back to an older pattern, and they're just reinvented again. Yeah, and that's why I think you've got maybe sort of 7 to 10 blades in history, and all ones just come from them.
Yeah, they're all variations on that.
There's somebody think, oh, that's nice, but could you make it a bit longer? Could you make it a bit fatter? Could you do a bit? Add this under there. I'm cutting rope, put a recurve in it for me. It holds it in.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
So yeah, Retro Stew is saying the difference is the direction of the taper, whether it goes out or in. Pretty much, yeah, but it's also, as Stephen says, it's the difference in the size at the end and the beginning of the blade.
Yeah.
So it widens out for the ram's foot. It stays the same for the sheep's, and it narrows in. So the taper, the direction of the taper is quite right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But can you imagine, how these are sort of invented nearly by accident? If somebody's making a knife with an anvil and a hot fire, they're never going to be the same. They're never going to come out lovely. And you bash something and you knock it too far, your sheep's foot could become a lamb's foot very quickly.
Yeah.
Or you get hit it too hard and it'll become a ram's foot at the end.
Very true.
So
very true. I think there's probably something as well to do with the weight of the steel in it as well, because a sheep's foot, that kind of design lends itself to more metal, if you know what I mean, a little bit more weight in it. So, and probably it's a simpler thing to forge. So if you don't have all the technology or whatever, it's probably a simple one to do in terms of the shape.
Yeah, I think they're all. I would say they're probably the easiest 3 blades to make. When you then go on to a spear point, you've got to meet 2 ends and make it look nice. And the different spear points you have your spear points where the top half comes down more, and then ones where the bottom half go up, and they don't hit that. The natural one is the center line of the handle, but then they just move about. And if you're hitting, I was like, it's the hammer, bang, oops, done that.
It's a drop point.
You don't throw it away and start again back there. Where you do now, it goes into the bin, the skip bin. But in them days, it was made into another sort of knife.
Absolutely. And I suppose we've got a few others here. So yes, Sussex has ordered a Rough Rider Reserve. I can't wait. Which one? Oh, the Barlow. Yeah, the Barlow.
It's one of the nicest. It's one of the nicest knives you'll ever buy at that price.
I'm glad you brought that up, because it does relate to what we're saying here. Because there is a Rough Rider Reserve that I've got my eye on. But first things first, there's another fat spear. And it's
beautiful
hard to
knife.
deny that.
Now, what I wanted to say, I knew there was something I had secret. When Ben sends us a wee video, the reviewers, off the knife, just to let him know, what his thoughts on the knife are. And if you can see this, can you see the 3 rings in the bolster there? He wants this to be his signature bolster,
Ooh.
which I am over the moon with. I know
Ooh.
it's simple, you know, but it's that 3-ring bolster. That's what he wants to make his signature bolster. And I would take that on every knife.
Yeah.
I just think it's gorgeous.
It is cracking.
As you've got it on that. And it makes such a difference to the blade
as well.
Absolutely beautiful. And I'm hoping we do get more Barlows, because more people are getting into Barlows in the traditional world. Definitely at the minute, Barlows are going mad in the traditional world. So many people wanting a nice Barlow. And I get asked more about any other one. What do you recommend as a Barlow? And to be honest with you, Sussex, that's the one I recommend at the minute. If you can afford the money, I know it's 60 quid, but that'll last you a lifetime. It's just gorgeous. D2 steel, and the fit and finish is immaculate.
Yeah, Thrifty's in, so it's all definitely kicking off now. Hey, Thrifty, how are you?
Oh, Thrifty, by the way, I got your stickers today. Although they should be sitting on the top here. Yes, they are. There we go. Just put them in a wee bag. Your stickers came today. Thank you so much. I love this Texas one. That's going in front of my box. So I'll have them on my box by the next video. I got quite a few this last week, so thank you.
Sussex says it's his first Barlow. I have a sneaking suspicion it won't be your last.
No, even the cheaper Rough Rider Barlows are great quality. Yeah. You know, for a Barlow.
Kevin's saying he loves a Barlow, but I hates it when they print the word Barlow for the heart of understanding on the knives. Yeah, and I agree with you.
That goes back a long way. I mean, well, I say a long way. But it'll go back.
No, I think it was a traditional approach, because they were used as cast-offs. You were telling me, weren't they?
There's the Imperial, the cheapest of them all. This is a real cheap Imperial made in Ireland, and it's got the Barlow written on it. I want me not seeing that. But yeah, I wouldn't be a lover of that at all. That wouldn't be one of my things. And I mean, there's an Imperial as well, but look at the difference in the you know, it doesn't rattle. It's just the other ones are horrendous.
And Paul Bugle was asking, is backspring on the Rough Rider Barlow nicely tuned? It is a good strong backspring on that.
The Rough Rider Reserve.
Yeah.
Oh, very much so. Like, there's the backspring on it. It's perfect, to be honest with you. There's nothing I could find fault with. There's not a glimmer of a gap whatsoever. And it really is. It's about I would say it's about a 5 pull. It's not much more. Yeah, it's comfortable. It's all you want, but it's got a nice high ricasso. So when your finger's there, it ain't closing on you anyway. Do you know what I mean? That's me pushing. So it's a safe knife to use.
Hey, Tony's Ponies is in. Randy's WSG, Galen.
It's good to see so many in.
Aye, we are. No, that's what I was about to say before I was so rudely interrupted. And because it's sort of on theme, because inevitably when you're talking about lambsfoot, sheepsfoot, ramsfoot, you inevitably get onto the modified sheepsfoot, ramsfoot, lambsfoot, right? Really, don't you? And the one, because we were talking about the Rough Rider Barlow there, the one that really has tickled my fancy is the Rough Rider Reserve Patriarch.
I want it.
So do I.
And I've been checking Heine every day and nothing.
Nothing. It's out in America, and we haven't seen it.
It's out in America for about 3 months, I think.
know.
But we do, sadly over here, that's where we do miss out. I hope they're going to make more of them because it looks fantastic.
It is fantastic. But it's slightly different because it's not a straight edge. It's got a wee bit of a belly going up in it. But there is that massive big slope down at the end of it. It looks like a real beefy one.
Yeah, it looks like a good work knife.
Yeah, definitely.
I've seen somebody had it on their channel. Very few people have had it on their channel for videos.
Where did I see? I can't
watch the one now.
Not sure Thrifty. Did Thrifty? I'm not sure if he had a Thrifty.
Might have been Thrifty.
Has anybody else seen the Patriarch out there? I mean, or had it in hand? Because we'd like to get some opinions on it, if nothing else. There's Thrifties. What do you reckon, Thrifty, in all honesty? We'll give you a second to come back with a response there.
It looks fantastic. And I want to sort of see it more in hand so to see what it's like in other people's hands.
Now, there's interesting. Thrifty didn't really like it.
Oh. Well, I'm surprised.
Any particular reason? Yeah, it's weird waiting for people to come back when they're typing feverishly. But no, it's I like the unusual shapes, I have to say. Then this is what I've been finding. I was saying to Stephen there a couple of weeks ago that in my exploration in the traditional knife side of things, I've really come to a sort of epiphany in that where Stephen likes the old traditional shapes and whatever else, I really prefer a more, I don't know, slightly unusual shape.
Ben's one that he designed, the
Cyborg Jack, was it?
Cyborg Jack. I love.
Yeah.
But I do have my knives in categories in my own head. I have a section in my head which is just traditional knives.
Yeah.
Then I have modern traditionals, and then I have slip joints. And then at the other end of that is locking knives now, because I don't have as many of them. Although I have got a few in the last. I got your one. I've actually done a video with you. I was doing a video of my top 6 locking knives. Well, no, not locking knives. The top 6 expensive knives in my collection, because I don't have many expensive knives. I know people think I have, but I don't have. And I have very few locking knives compared to what I used to have. So I've done a wee video on the top 6. And when I picked them out, it just so happened that 3 of them are locking and 3 of them are slip joints.
Oh, there you go.
Which is, you know,
it's a nice half basis. Yeah. All right. Now that's unusual, actually, because see, that's the thing. The denim micarta, I love denim micarta. I have to say 50. Do, so maybe it's going to be a win-win for me, but it's just a personal taste thing then.
But I think if you've been collecting every one of them, they just done denim micarta for so many of them, and it just would put me off too, is having them in my collection. So like I get carbon fiber from Jack Wolf knives, but it's always different.
Yeah.
Whereas the blue denim, if they were all coming out in blue denim, I would have give up my my free knife every month if it was all the same.
And the thing, it's supposed to be a I don't know. I suppose it's a common cry. I suppose you hear when you're talking or listening to everybody else talking about them, is that we do like a bit of variety in the stuff.
And I think micarta's on the way in now. I think there's a lot of knives coming out now without micarta, and I think it's going down. Something else will just hit the.
Well, there's plenty of stuff out there.
It's funny enough, I don't have any of the blue micarta Rough Riders left. I have the only Rough Rider reserve I've got is that Barlow. Because the other ones were all right, but I had other ones that were all right in that shape, so they sort of went to give me more space for getting something else. But the Barlow is just outstanding.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, there's another one that there's a lot of. Like, it's amazing how much the scale. There's my favorite, which is just the Queen made by Rough Rider with a saw cut bone. I have 3 of these, and it's not something I do a whole lot of. Now they're not 3 of this one. I've 3 different knives. So there's the Queen. You were talking about Barlows. There's a lovely 2-blade Barlow with that gorgeous saw cut bone on it. That's another. Who was asking that the last time? There's Ghost Malone. How you doing?
He's in.
Nice. Yeah, this is another. It's a 2-blade Barlow, just the clip point and the wee pen blade, but it's fantastic. Made by it's Queen now, but it's actually Rough Rider.
I've got the canoe in that, and I think it's fantastic. It is lovely. And Thrifty's saying as well that the saw cut one is outstanding. So. Now, talking about modern traditionals or takes on modern traditionals, the Lion Steel Best Man 2 with the spear point. Well, the Best Man can come in and it's got a couple of different. Yeah,
it's one that it didn't fit my eye. I liked the sheep's foot they done.
Yeah.
And I liked the Warncliffe they done.
Yeah.
But I wasn't keen on the Best Man. It was there was a lot of them were 2-bladed ones on the thickness.
The equal end was a weird one.
Yeah, I didn't get.
I keep on thinking about pulling the trigger on a Best Man, I must admit, but then it's the number of screws in the handle. I don't know why.
Yeah, because you wouldn't take it apart.
No, but exactly. But why have so many? Why have so many? Then it just. And I think it's a little mind worm. It's just enough to stop me pulling the trigger.
Yeah, you've got your bolster, your 2 bolsters have got screws through it, and then the 2 in the middle, they're just for taking the micarta off.
That's exactly
or whatever you've got. That's all it's for.
Yeah.
They don't go right through like the 2 bottom ones. So yeah, Yeah, they're lovely knives. Don't get me wrong, they're lovely and they're fit and finish. I've not heard many bad things about their fit. In fact, I don't hear any bad things.
And
they're
Lions
good knives.
usually does good knives,
and it's like any knife, it's your eye that makes it. You can't argue that your eye's right and somebody else is wrong. You're wrong.
There's something in my head, though, Sussex. Be careful about buying an older one, because I think there was something. I think I remember Pete and Cedric and Ada doing a test on some of the older best men, and the M390.
Well, that was Lion Steel in the beginning.
But I think they corrected it in their later ones, didn't they? Yeah. So don't buy an old one. Get it.
And I think a lot to do was with the response they got from the company itself that didn't go down well.
Right, fair enough.
And that exacerbated the
response.
Yeah. Oh, there was a whole big furore, but yeah, I think you're all right. You're safe now.
There's Randy. Just got the peanut queen.
The what?
It's a queen peanut. Queen.
Right.
Must be a cracker for the price.
Sorry. Do you know what I'm thinking? Our king's getting installed tomorrow, and I'm thinking Queen Peanut. What?
It takes a while to get through there. What are you going to do?
We're the Queen. I hope you're all going to watch it. Just 2 hours of your life you can lose, but I'll be watching it.
It'll be the whole flaming day.
Yeah, but I'll watch the 2 hours of the ceremony.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
No. So yes. So we've got, anyway, where did we get to? So we were talking about the patriarch or the patriarch or whatever however we want to do. We were talking about different things. I suppose this is a classic Sheffield sheep's foot.
Sheep's foot, yeah.
That's okay, beautiful. So this is my Ashley Harrison Farmer, as he calls it. So this is a classic Arthur Wrights of Sheffield sheep's foot. And that, Ashley custom made the knife for me, but the blade would have been their standard issue. It wouldn't be any different from any of their production knives. But that is a classic Sheffield sheep's foot in olive wood, and it's just a fantastic, again, great working knife.
Absolutely,
brilliant blade, O2 tool steel, and it's just a cracker, really. But again, to get back to that, that's your classic sheep's foot. Now, here is probably, I think this is the best example of the ram's foot, I must admit, because it's such a brutal ram's foot.
Yeah. There
you go. Where are we? So there's a brutal ram's foot, and if you can't see that that's a ram's foot, there's something wrong with your eyesight, because it's so much broader.
And like you think you can actually then go on up to like the whaler or the what they call the sailor's knife,
the anchor,
and the pattern tends to go on where you get that thicker for batoning through rope at the side of a gunnel or something. So
this knife is actually the most frustrating knife for me in the world. This knife does my head in. It absolutely does my head in, because I love the shape of the blade. I think it's a cracking blade. The handle is really well put together. This knife cost me 18 quid, so it costs nothing. But the thing that drives me to the fair about it, I love this knife, but every time you close it, it's so far off center. It basically overlaps the left scale, and it just annoys me.
Again, I was talking about this in a video today, and it's amazing what you can make yourself accept if you like a knife. I was doing. You'll see the video that's probably going to be out at the weekend sometime.
Yes.
This is the Bear from Tactile Turn. One of my favorite knives. It's in my top 6 favorite knives. Yet, whenever I close it, can you see that it's? Yeah, you can see that, can't you? It is so off center. Now it's not rubbing, but it's as close as it can get without actually doing it. It's only a narrow knife. It's a very, very slim knife, but that would normally drive me to distraction, like it would.
Yeah.
But I love this. I could have sent this back and got another one. It was brand new. I bought it brand new. I could have sent it back, and I didn't want to let go of it to go back for a week and then another week to come back to me again. So I just kept it and I put up with it because I'm not getting rid of it. I just love this little knife.
Yeah.
And I knew that from the dead Kim. I knew, right, that's it. I'm just going to accept it.
And I mean, I didn't even think about sending this one back. Thrifty, it's a Rough Rider. It's the Carbon series.
Yeah, the Carbon
series. And I can't remember the serial number on it. Hang on, it'll probably be on this.
Oh, it's on the side.
It's the 2213, the 2213.
Well, of all these in the thing, what is your favorite blade shape? Is it the lamb's foot, the sheep's foot, or the ram's foot? What would you pick if you had the choice of the best knife in the world, but you had to put one of them 3 blades on it? Which one would it be? Yeah. That'd be interesting. I know for me, it would be probably the sheep's foot.
Me, ram's foot.
Yeah, I'd be fighting towards it, but I do like the sheep's foot.
It's funny, I'm not a fan of the lamb's foot.
Satisfaction. And hello, mate. You're very, very welcome.
As always, he's given some subtle recommendations about whacking it with a rubber mallet. The irony is, if I have tried that, didn't make any difference whatsoever. Probably because I wasn't giving it enough welly. Because I mean,
there's a special way to hit it.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do it? Have you watched the video?
I was just whacking it.
No. Go on to YouTube, and there's a how to straighten your blade on a traditional. There's fantastic videos on it. It's the way you set it and where you hit it, and you just repeatedly knock until it'll gradually bring it back. It doesn't work for every knife, but the Rough Rider is the sort of knife, because of the price, I would quite happily do it.
It's worth it.
It's worth a bash. I wouldn't do it in one of my good knives, but
no, I don't think so. So we've got Ghost Malone, Retro Stew is going ram's foot, Ghost Malone's going sheep's foot, Thrifty's going ram's foot, as it should be. What else have we got? Who are we?
Satisfaction, you don't put it in a bit of wood and hit it. No.
Ram's foot for Thrifty, Retro Stew, ram's foot, sheep's foot for Ghost Malone.
It's probably going to be about half and half.
Mike Curtis for sheep's foot. Nobody's coming down on the lamb's foot, funnily enough.
No, and yet this last year I've had a better appreciation of this since I got this one from Ashley. Again, I chose the blade myself because I didn't. I have a couple of wee lamb's foot, but one of them's an Arthur Wright lamb's foot, and it's an older model. But I wanted a sort of newer model with a lamb's foot, and I have to say, every bit as good. Just, do you know what I mean? When you get the sheep's foot, it just looks more substantial if you're going to do a bit of work. This is more, for what I would say, even whittling, this would be a lovely little point. You could take that edge down and make it thin enough to whittle with.
I know it would be a cracker actually for that.
Yeah.
I had an Arthur Wright lamb's foot, but I just didn't get on with it and gave it away to a friend
I've got
who
one
uses it for gardening. Paul Bugle is saying he has the same spray back carbon, but his center's better than Messi, just to rub it in.
Look at that old blade now. Look at that. This is a little lamb's foot in Arthur Wright.
Oh no!
Look at the age of that. That is just lovely. And you've got that downward canted blade on it, which again, when you've got a knife that's good for draw cuts, and where you want the point of the blade downwards, having that down set really makes it comfortable to get down and cut with.
And that would have been one of them. No, actually, it's got a shield in it, so it would have been probably one of their special edition ones at the time. But they're standard ones. I mean, they used to go for about 19 quid. They're standard lamb's foot. I think they're probably up to about 22, 23.
Yeah, probably somewhere about it. But they're just great working knives.
They are.
Now, it just so happens I got that for about 20 quid, I think, on Etsy, when you could buy knives on Etsy. Yeah. But look at the snap on it, and it's just right down the middle. It's just lovely. But Arthur Wrights have only been going since the 50s, 60s? No 50s, idea. I think it is. Arthur Wright was going now. It's owned by different people now. But they when they bought it over, they took the whole shop. Everything where they were was all that traditional. They were just moving into a traditional shop.
Now, Ghost Malone's got a comment up here. Just he's sharing with us because he's showing off because he got in with Ashley. So he's got now. The thing that puzzles me, and you'll forgive me here, guys, is a beard comb a euphemism, or is it actually a comb for a beard?
It's a comb for a beard.
That's all right then. So he's not being
no
rude or anything.
It's just the gaps between the prongs.
But it's like a slip joint.
It's like the old afro comb that the boys used to use, for doing the afro. This is just the beard equivalent. It's got a wee bit wider, and it goes through your beard.
Fantastic.
The GEC brought out the beer and sausage knife, and it had the beard comb on it.
Ah.
Do you know?
No, I never did.
Look up the GEC beer and sausage.
Beer and sausage. Knife.
Beer and sausage. It had a fork. It had a beard comb, or what they call it is a beard refuge removal tool.
Refuge.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yes. You see, this is what happens. It's one of the reasons I haven't actually admitted to Stephen. I keep on making excuses about not going on RJ's Knives on Sundays, and it's really because I feel intimidated by all the facial hair. I mean, look at me. I look like a teenage boy.
Yeah, we are the ZZ Top of YouTube.
Yeah, don't all rush to agree with me. Thanks, by the way. Okay, so he's got it coming in stag as well, so it must, yeah.
I think that would be actually really nice.
Ashley does a lovely bit of stag as well. So
yeah, that's actually stag there. That's another gorgeous piece of stag. Just beautiful, and the bark is so deeply cut in. It's just gorgeous. But do you know, the more I'm looking at this, if anybody's a bit late in, this is what we were sort of talking about that started the debate off. This is the new Jack Wolf Knives Feel Good Jack. And it's a sort of imitation on the old doctor's knife, where you have the squared off bolster at the bottom for crushing tablets, and then you have the knife for doing doctory things. And I'll bet you the old doctor's knives back then didn't have as thin an edge as this has, because this is just an amazing edge. Oh.
He didn't mute his phone, so it keeps on going.
I haven't muted, but I don't know how to turn the dingy dings off.
All right, I'll give him my usual tech consultancy fees apply.
Sean sent me a photo. You say I wouldn't have got Sean's photo.
What have you got?
I don't know. I'm looking at it. Let's see. Hey, Sean.
Well, what we'll do is we'll talk amongst ourselves while Stephen answers his phone. I mean, I regard that as the height of rudeness and discourtesy myself. But I mean, what are we going to do with him?
Oh, there we go. Ooh. I don't know. That's what did Sean send me?
He's got one too.
What's that?
Oh, it's what's coming. Oh,
right. Is this hang on.
The beard
I have
comb?
to look at that. Hang on. This looks interesting. Oh, I just jammed myself in the eye. Oh,
Tony's ponies. I think I could rise to that occasion, most definitely.
Look at that.
Isn't that class? Hold it up there.
I don't know whether you'll see this, folks.
Put it right up the camera.
There is, I take it this is an Ashley Harrison one. Oh, I'll get you through the
angle the bottom back a wee bit.
There we go. Sean, is that an Ashley Harrison? It looks like an Ashley Harrison. Well, I can't see the bolster. Lovely tool. I had one of the bearded ones. He used to do what was it called? GEC done. It was just like a barber jack, and it was the beard comb and a blade, and I sold it. But just one of those things.
Not something that I will ever understand. Although my son's got a beard, maybe I should get him. Maybe that would get him interested in knives. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So, any questions out there, or any other insights into our discussion of ram's foot, sheep's foot, lamb's foot? And this one, just to show you that the traditional factor of these kind of blades has not stopped it from moving into a more modern design.
I mean, that was one of the best-selling knives when it came out. I mean, and it's still selling now in so many different variations.
Is this the Penguin, isn't it?
Yeah.
QSP Penguin.
So many forms.
And I mean, it's just a cracking knife. And it's a lovely shape of blade, but it still maintains that kind of brutal efficiency or just simplicity to it. It's just a really nice wee knife.
I mean, let's be honest, the fancy knives that come out now with all the different compound grinds, they're not the knife you're going to use in an everyday. You know, unless you're very wealthy and you can afford that. But I mean, you want a blade that's reasonably straight or got a curve. Yeah. If you're going to do certain cuttings on boards, you want a bit of a curve on it. If you're going to do directional where you want a point on it,
and that's actually a good point, Stephen. So because all that, I mean, I suppose the one sort of distinguishing feature of this is that it's a straight edge at the bottom of the blade,
Yeah.
as opposed to a bellied or curved blade. What advantage does that give?
Well, if you're doing cuts like through cardboard or things like that, the blade is cutting straight through. If you've got a curve on it, it tends to slip out of the cardboard because of the natural motion we push. We're sort of pushing away, but the straight edge just keeps it going down straight. And if you've got a blade that's rounded, the rounded pulls through because it's a slicing blade, and they just automatically do it because that's why they're called slicers. And sort of, the straight edge is just a straight edge for doing exactly what it says in the tin. And then when you go to the opposite end, you're going to get a recurve. The recurve, again, it's going to be great for cutting and following that cut through and making the cut deeper, like you would have in like, I'm trying to think of a knife. Well, a scythe. What does a scythe do? It goes into the grass and it grabs it and pulls it in.
Yeah.
And that's, again, a
slices as it goes through.
A lot of fighting knives you'll find like that. They're going to have that hook type blade.
Whereas the sheep's foot, it's just designed to get as through as
straight as you can.
Possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
As straight as you can.
Tony's ponies, you can come back. And more to the point, I will try and fix the Christmas draw for a compliment like that. Thank you very much.
I haven't spoken to you, actually.
Oh, hang on a second. I read it wrong. I thought you said you don't look old enough to have a beard. You don't look old enough to have a bearded son. That doesn't qualify for
Christmas
list off. Christmas. No, he's off. He's off. Good try, though.
Nearly had it, Tony.
And Thrifty, don't get sold on this because my taste changes. It's mercurial. It changes with the weather. So, yeah, no, but then again,
my life will be complete when a Thrifty buys a spade blade specifically.
Yeah. Thrifty, come to the dark side. Come to the dark side. Pleasures of the dark side. Okay, guys, I think we're going to start wrapping this up. So if you've got any questions, please let us know now. It's coming up to an hour as our usual time. And again, it's been enormous fun. And again, just keep your eye open for this one. It's a different one. I think it's going to cause a little bit of contention, but but that's not to say that everybody shouldn't give it a chance because it is.
I don't know who said this, but they were a much cleverer man than me. When you're looking at something that's either a piece of art or something that's, in your line of your spectrum of nice things, if it doesn't create some sort of emotion, it's not doing anything.
Yeah, that's true.
It becomes bland. That is definitely not bland.
That's true.
Whoever seen a doctor's knife with white carbon fiber and a ram's foot blade on it? I mean, that is a modern doctor's knife, if you want. Not that they crush tablets, but there's a thing. It's a doctor's knife, right? But taking all jokes aside, have you ever had a child's tablet and you break it between two spoons?
Yeah.
You've got a doctor's knife. Break your child's tablet up.
Brilliant.
There is a use for that filled in bottom. I mean, I think all bottoms should be filled. That doesn't sound right.
Move on.
Move on, yeah. I think all knives should be closed at the bottom. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Closed at the bottom to stop dirt and gruff getting in there. Same as a lot of slip joints. Have you seen them where they have? Oh, there's a good spring in this. It is. It's definitely a 7. But when you have it open at the top there's certain knives that have the enclosed top, like my Remington, the big double-bladed Remington.
Oh yeah, the bullet knife.
The bullet knife.
Yeah.
It's got a closed-in top, which stops a lot of dirt getting in as well. I think more of that would be nice. I don't know how difficult it is for production, but I do like that. So it's in at least 4 different carbon fibers. There's no micarta. What are you giggling at? Phil Paddy's bottom. Well, there we go. Not the first.
You had to take it there, didn't you? You had to take it there.
Not the first time that's been said to an old sailor. Right, stop me before I get arrested, or get a strike.
Thrifty, don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Show potential.
Don't you dare! We're already notorious enough. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh God, that's right. 50's the other one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's the mastermind.
Yeah, and Sawyer's probably sneaking in the background there taking pictures. Yeah, I've
Right,
enjoyed
guys.
the show, enjoyed chatting with you. Sorry it was impromptu, but I wanted to show that knife tonight on our wee live show because I enjoy the fact that you interact with us so much. So I'll do that. For the rest of my subs, still love you all. And I'll do a review tomorrow of it, a tabletop down, and we'll get a close look at it. But I think it's worth, even if you've seen it tonight, watch the top down because it is an interesting knife. And if it doesn't cause emotion, don't worry about it then.
Yeah.
Buy something else.
Absolutely.
But I've grown very rapidly to think I can use this.
I'd be interested to see what Ben's take on it and where it came from because there's always an interesting story behind him. Has to be said.
But I think it's a pattern he quite likes. He showed one of his own, a couple of his own doctor's knives that he has, So
excellent. Look, folks, thanks a million. I look forward to talking to you next time. All the best now.
Yeah, you're absolute stars. Thank you so much. You make the show worth it for us, and the interaction you give is fantastic. Please keep doing it. Take care. Bye.
All the best, guys. Bye.